Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Darla Lucian of Darla Lucian Studios, and we are going to be working on making some envelopes into ephemera to use in journals. But before we get going, I'm just going to ask you to hit the like button, subscribe and hit the notification bell, you know you wanna. Comment, I love hearing your comments, and share with other crafty people, and let's get this conversation and inspiration rolling. Alright, so I kind of wanted to show you what I was up to. So this is some of what I think we're going to work with today. But Roxy at Roxy Creations has her weekly Roxy challenge. And everybody is doing these really awesome little envelopes that have this little part that flips up. And then I have stuff underneath. I'll show you what I want to do with this one. This is kind of my template. But I did not have any envelopes on the size and the shape that she was doing, so I ended up making some. So I wanted to show you what I was doing to make some, and then I wanted to do some decorating with you. Alright, so junk mail. That's what I started with. Some of these, of course, I have already covered, so they're ready to go. But so junk mail and some of my coffee dyed paper. That's what we need to create the base. So first things first, I'm going to do this upside down for me, just so that you can see what I'm up to here. I'll see if I can do it upside down. I do not know. All right. Move those buttons off for now. Okay, so what I did was I put it at 7. I put it at 7, right? Now I better go double check and make sure that I know what I'm doing. Yes, 7. Okay, 7 it is. Let's get up there. Okay. So then, I mean, this could be tossed, but I'll just toss it in with my scraps. Maybe I'll use it. Then I measured this at 6. I just measured it though. I didn't cut it. Okay, so that you know what I'm up to. So I'm using a pencil and a ruler to do this. Okay, so that gave me this. Alright, so next, handy dandy scissors. Get right in there. Oh, I want this side down, actually. I want this on the back. No, that's okay if that's in the back. This is just backwards from what I did, but that's okay. I mean, you can choose which way you want. Do you want this with the flap on the front, or do you want it on the back? And I have some both ways, actually. And not because I planned it that way, just because I kind of screwed up. But anyway, so you cut down the sides right to where that line was that we drew. And then, let's make a little triangle. Cut that out. So now these two look almost the same, except we need to corner round this one. I like the look of the corner round. To me, that just looks complete. Like a finished, polished kind of look to an envelope. So, corner rounded. Pop that away. Alright, so here's what we do now. I'm going to keep this handy, but so what I did was I took the envelope and just tucked that flap in until that was even with the line, and then press it down. So I'll do that with this one now too. I just kept this like this so I could remember what I was up to. I probably won't glue. Well, I will glue these. So then you just kind of tuck it in and then press it flat. Then you fold that out. I want to glue these down. So I'm just using my glue book on top. Then I pull the flap back. I'm putting the glue down on this side. Mostly I want to get it on this edge here. That's the important edge to get the glue down on. Alright, so now trying not to stick it to this back part, I'm going to pop this open again and tuck this down in and then press. Alright, now let's repeat on this one. Pulling that out, putting that on. I forgot to grab an extra glue stick. Hopefully I'll have enough glue here. It's amazing how much glue stick it takes when you start gluing paper down. Okay, pop the envelope wide, tuck the flap in, press down. Okay, now, and I really do recommend this step because, pardon me, because it makes folding just so much easier. Oh yeah, I have to do it upside down so you can see what I'm up to. Alright, so I'm going to use my paper trimmer again, but again, I'm not using the cutter on it. I am going to use the fold on it. So I am going to go to 1 1/4. Hold this down and come across here. So 1 1/4 is going to give me a 1/4 inch here, and then this will fold down easily and straight to make that nice flap. So check it. Isn't that great? Let's try this one. So 6 1/4 right there. Oh, I lost 6 1/4. Yeah, that's that one. Sorry, it's just there's a little bit of shadows in here, and because I'm doing it backwards, it's making it hard for me to see. Alright, so I'm just using that embossing tool on the cutting line of my paper trimmer to make that. Other people have scoreboards or different things that I just rather not have a whole bunch of extra tools in here that I don't need, at least not yet. Okay, so now here's my envelopes. They're plain Jane. So you can see how this one has the flap on this side, this one has the flap on this side. If they're coming up a little, you can just give them a little glue down, because you don't want them loose necessarily. It doesn't really matter, but just might as well have it glued down, right? Okay, so then we want to put our paper on. So we're just going to line this, and what happens is the shape, the size of the envelopes that I've made work really good for, going upside down again, to use an 8.5 by 11. So we need to cut this in half first, which puts us to 5 1/2. 5 1/2 is there. Okay. Man, this is ever backwards. Okay, and then I have discovered that I don't need it quite at 4. I need it just like a line less than 4. That's what works best. And I'm going to try to keep the part that I like the best. So a line less than 4 puts me about there. And then I'll just save this little scrappy scrap too, because you just never know what you can use these wonderful little scrappy scraps for. Okay, this one's going to go in at there, and this wants to flop down all the time. Okay, I did do 3 1/4 for some, but then it didn't cover quite as much, so I thought I would try this just slightly larger size for this one that I did with you guys. Alright, glue pad is coming out. This is what I was talking about how you go through a lot of glue, because to cover, you want it to stick down really well. And I'm just using Oohoo glue stick. So here we go. I'll put this on the front. And then I'm just going to use this little scraper, glass scraper, I think it is. It's plastic, but Anyway, it's good for spreading stickers onto glass. That's what it was for initially. Let's see, what do we want on the front of this one? I like that one better. I'll see if I use this busier one for the back of this one. And it's okay that it has something there, because we'll be covering that up when we go to decorate. This is kind of just making the base right now. Okay, so now I'm going to put more of the pattern at the bottom, because I'm assuming that I'm going to put something over there at the top. And I don't want to cover up with my beautiful coffee dyeing. Alright, so that's one done up to where the other ones are at. Same with this. Let's get this one going. It does take a little while, and it took me a bit to figure out exactly how to glue them down. So like the first couple weren't made exactly the same way as this. I just discovered that this is the way that works nicest and works best for mass making. So making a whole bunch at once is great. I ended up making a dozen of these envelopes before turning the camera on. So I'll have 14 by the time I'm done, but we'll just decorate a few. Just checking to see which side is darker, so that that's the side that I'm going to put out for my coffee dyed side. So you can use this to like write on, or stamp on, or, you know, put your ephemera on, or whatever. I mean, it's lots of choices. And I'm doing this scraping thing because I want the paper flat, because if somebody wants to write on there, we don't want it to be rippled. Okay. Alright, so then the next step, now that we have our envelopes, so I have a stack of envelopes here. I have 4 that we're going to decorate and one that's partially on its way. So then it was to use the flap to attach a piece of book page. Okay, so we're going to do that. I put my bits and pieces off to the side here so they're out of the way. Let's see. This is an oldie. Ooh, I love how these pages feel. Alright. I think this one could be good because it's close to the right size already. See that? So I'm going to just tear that edge a little, just so it's not quite as big. And then, I'm not going to save that little tiny strip. And then I'm not worried about the title on it, because that's going to be under there. But I do not want it overly long. So, I'm using the lines of the writing to make it kind of even there. Alright, so then, take your glue stick, and if you already have envelopes, you can join in at this stage, obviously. I had to make my envelopes first. That's okay. I am all about, as you know, working with what I got. I live in the sticks, and going out and shopping to get the supplies that I need for a new project is just not something that's going to happen. So I need to be able to make do with what I got in my house. And so maybe you're that way too. I mean, with COVID, we haven't been traveling as much lately. I will be doing a little traveling, but it just, I think it's just easiest. Ooh, there's a picture in here. It's just easiest to try to use what you have, especially since, oh, that looks really cool. Especially since we are already so full in our houses of stuff, right? I don't know about you, but I have, you know, been decluttering in my garage because we are coming up to spring, and I want to be able to access my tools and stuff for my gardening. And just like, how did all the stuff get in here? My goodness. It's amazing how fast, to me it's amazing how fast it is that stuff starts to take over your life. And, okay, I'm going to get this out of here because we're getting a little bit of a ridge. Okay. And, I mean, I even put stuff at the end of my driveway marked free, you know, please take kind of thing, just to get some things moving. And that has been very helpful because now my garage is so much emptier. It's so light in there. All right, so that's on there. All right, so I'm going to use a different book for the next ones. What do we got here? Oh, how about some of this? Okay, so let's assume that we just don't want the edge there or there. And then let's measure the rest to size. Okay. So there. So I feel like I didn't make that very even. Oops. Okay, oh yeah, I know how to do it this way. Okay. I'm definitely going to want to cover that up. I'm going to save that little scrap, throw that in my scrap pile. So if you had real envelopes, as opposed to, well, I guess these were real envelopes, just made different way. This part would have the sticky on, so if you put the glue on there, it would stick really good, I think. There we go. It's lifting up good. Just always checking to make sure I'm not gluing it down. All right. Best of enemies. See if there's any. This is maybe wide enough here. I'm just trying to line up the numbers so that they're just kind of at the edge, and that'll give me a straighter edge than the last time I tried that. Good. Oh goodness, let's not dump everything onto the floor. So part of why I picked the bluish, greenish words for this one is because this one has a blue inside. And it just made me think, oh, why not? Why not try something with different colored words? This one is a very old book as well. What's going on here? Why doesn't that want to glue down straight? Okay. So that's kind of fun with the hockey image under there. So I'll have to think about what I want to do on that one. Okay, so let's toss that. that's been in my way for too many crafting sessions. Okay, so then I wanted to show you kind of what I had as an idea for this one. So this one's from a Western book, and so it talks about broncs and pitch, and it's fighting with me and whatever. On the opposite page was this wonderful buck and bronco thing, so I thought I would tuck that here as part of the image. And it says, there was hardly a day I wasn't on some bucking horse. And see how it didn't come quite high enough here? So I thought I would just stick that on there. I guess I didn't need to close this just yet, did I? So sometimes you just have these ideas and you think, oh, I think that's going to work. There we go. So that looks good. And then I thought I'd just ink around the edge of this to make this stand out just a little. And I'm trying to get an angle on this so that it fits. It doesn't look too awkward. Because that's kind of what I'm feeling about it right now. So it's just a little bit awkward. Oh, gotta remember to make up sponges. Write that down. I like getting these from a dollar store if I'm nearby, and find that it's good enough for inking. I don't need to get any fancy inkers. Alright, so I think that was kind of like that angle there, because this was the same size. So let's give that a whirl. This is just paper to paper, so again, I'm using glue stick. Glue stick is wonderful because it dries so quickly and it's not as wet, so your pages don't buckle the same way. Anyway, so that's all I'm going to put on the back there. I like that. Now on the front, I had found some of these puffy stickers. And where there was another one that had Western-y theme. Where did that all go? There he is. There he is. Alright, Jolie's. Jolie's by you. So, I think these ones are going to be the ones that I'm liking right now. So, and these are just kind of like how they look. They have a weird smell. That is actual leather on there. Fascinating. Okay. So I think before I put this down, I am going to ink the edge. And these I'm going to put down with, I was expecting paper. I wasn't expecting actual leather on those. Those are great. I'm going to put ink all around the book page. And I don't know if you noticed, but it's also hitting underneath a little bit here as well. So that's all good. I'm going to ink there and around. I was thinking about doing a Western themed journal, junk journal, just because of where I live. I live in Alberta, Canada, and definitely kind of a westerny feel to our community and cowboyish feel. So I was thinking I might try putting a journal together and just seeing if there's some interest in my art, if it's more Western. Alright, I'm going to lift this up and try to get a little bit more on the edges here. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the side with the cowboy on it as well. This is quite thin. And in Roxy Creations, Roxy Challenge, Weekly Challenge, she actually stamped an image here, but she has quite beautiful stamps that are quite a good size. And I noticed that when I looked through my collection, that I didn't have stamps that would have been, like they would have only been like about that big. And it really needs to be about that big to fill the space properly. So I thought, you know what? Use what you have. And I happen to have these kind of stickery things. So, or die cut type things. So I like that. And then these are going to have to be glued down with tacky glue, of course. So let's do that. I'm going to glue this one first because it's kind of the one that is in the corner. The other one can be made to fit. So there is some paper involved here, but then there's also some little bits of leather. So I don't know. I thought these were paper, but there's kind of leather bits on here, which is awesome. Okay, that one's going there. And then this guy. This just looks so much fun. I'm going to just have it just at a slight angle so that it doesn't look so stiff. And then I had this thought that I put a little strip of this ribbon across the top. That is very twisty right there. Anyway, so let's try that. I am going to put a strip of glue across. And then I am going to use the old finger tool and smooth it down so we won't get ridges on our ribbon. And this was a stretchy ribbon, so I'm afraid that it's going to pull in until it sticks, so I'm just going to put my fingers on here and keep them there until it's good and stuck. And then I was thinking we might put something on the ribbon because there's this one part where it crinkles, and I thought, oh, that might be the right place to put something from this die cut pack here. Okay. Alright, so let's cut this off. Oh, wrong scissors. Let's use my fabric scissors because the paper scissors are no good on this ribbony stuff. Okay. Alright. How are we doing so far? Sorry, I love how this is coming together. You see that little spot that's just... So my thought was that I might put something from here on there. So let's just addition a few of these things and just see if there's something that stands out. And I had another idea. This is not going to work. Cowboy. The bandana seems a bit small, and so is the hat. The cowboy thing could work. And then the other thought I had was that I have all these kind of vintagey buttons. But maybe I could put a couple of them over on that side. Some of these are real old. Some of these are brand new. These ones are all kind of the neutrally colors in here. This is what I thought would look good with this. Oh, there's kind of a metal looking one. Well, that's interesting. I still like this one the best. I'm trying to find that match. I want two so that I have three things across the top. Alright, three. I might have to, oh. There should be. Okay. So something like that. oh, cowboy, this one right here, which I'm going to put, I mean, it's pretty sticky, but I'm just going to put some tacky glue around the edge here because it's going to go over top of that ribbon, and heavens knows it's hard to stick over top of a ribbon. Alright. So let's see if we can glue these on. These are flat backed, so that should help. I'd often just stitch these on, but I don't really want the stitching to go to the other side because we've already got some stuff happening on the other side. So this is very bulky. I've got buttons. These cowboy boots are not thin. And so that's why I didn't mind putting the buttons on, because I knew that this is going to be something that's going to tuck in, but then can be pulled out. So it'll be possible to remove it in order to write in the journal that it's going to go with. Okay, so then on the inside here, she had done some stuff on the inside too. She put stamps. Gail Augustinelli put die cuts, I remember that. But I think I'm going to just enjoy a little cowboy hat right there. Like that. There we go. Whole Home on the Range. Well, I like how that turned out. I think that's really cute. It's pretty much complete as it's going to be until it goes into a journal, and then whoever buys the journal will be able to decorate it how they like. Okay, so from something like that to something completely different. So I have these other left over from a project I was doing, and so I thought I'd just check and see what those might look like. That one's a bit big, but I could fussy tear just a little closer. I will, just to kind of get a better idea of what it would look like. It is a bit hard to see the white edge on here of the flower. And I may find myself wanting to just put a little bit of ink across this whole thing just to tone down this white a bit, because this is very white. But I do like how that looks. I was thinking about putting this on a white envelope, but the white really doesn't show up. And I do like the manila color better. So there is that one. There's this one. This one is a bit big, so let's just pull it out right now. And then there's this one. And this one, well, yeah, it just doesn't seem like the right thing, does it? So kind of between this one, I definitely have to have something across the top there, and this one. So what if we figure out what's going across the top? Sometimes it's just what's on your desk. What if I use this pink bit? It's hard to get it the right shape, but it's something like that. Okay, let's just tear that off and see, because right now the rest of this is distracting me. Okay, so if we did that, put that at the top, and then this would tuck under, maybe? Would? Push the doily around. I've got a tear of a doily from earlier that I was working with. Maybe that might look interesting underneath at the bottom here to just kind of tie it together. Well, I like that. Nope, this one's just not the right. I like the pink one. Okay, so first things first, let's ink the heck out of this thing. I'm going to try to whiten it, or darken the white. We're not trying to whiten it at all. These are not teeth that we want whiter and whiter. I'm going to just get a little bit in there too. Just giving it all just a little bit of a distress so that knocking back the white of it so it's not quite so in the face, and that will go nicer with our aged book pages. Okay, and then next I think we should attach our we did a little bit more over the top instead of so little. And then we'd cover that completely. See, now we're cooking with fire. Let me pull that off. Alright, so first I'm going to glue down this side. I'm going to see if it's going to work with this stuff. With this glue stick, I mean. Let's see if we're going to get that. Okay. Let's get over it. There, did that stick down? Not too bad. I didn't want to do tacky glue if I could help it because this sticks through so badly then. Okay, let's put a little glue on the doily, and this is just asking for trouble because it's going to go on all the holes instead of where I want it. But alright, so that's, I think, pretty much all the decoration we're going to do for the back. Alright, so then how are we doing this here? Like that, like that. Maybe we just need it to not be so much. What if I just put it down? A little sticking out that way. And then this way. So it's kind of like right there. All right. Now we want this little piece somewhere. Just a little bit right there. Why not? Just kind of keep the, might as well use up all the little bits, right? Okay. Now let's glue this down. I'm just going to grab up some of that glue. positioned it before. Perfect. Oh, it looks great. That's cute. Alright, so then I had a few other little sets of things. But I just want to check our time and see how we're doing. Oh yeah, we're coming close to the end of our time. So I will decorate these ones off camera, I guess. But you got a chance to see, we have kind of a Western themed one. That was pretty much decorated right to the end. You'll be able to put something in the envelope, as well as, you know, you can journal on the front here, or you can journal on the back as well. And then with this one, it's a little more girly. Could be used for Valentine's Day, or just like a romance type one, or even a Victorian one. You can put something here. Again, you can access the envelope right here, right on the back. I think these are going to be great, and I can't wait to finish up these ones here. And I've got, like I said, I've got different themes that I was going to try out here and just use up some of my big sticky things. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we'll just catch you in the next video. Take care, everyone.